All right, everyone, here we are with another video with Invest for Tomorrow. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all the first-time viewers and investors. Welcome to the channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all the subscribers, welcome back. And I ask from every single viewer, investor, subscriber, frequent viewer, first-time viewer, smash that like button for me if you find some information informative or helpful, or you learn something new. Pass this along, share it to your friends and community, because these type of videos, they get overlooked because everyone's focusing in on a specific ticker symbol, specific information that they're looking for, and sometimes we overlook the bigger picture. You need to see things from the macro perspective to know what's going on from the outside, to then focus in on the micro stuff, which is individual stocks. Individual stocks are affected by the bigger picture, and then individual stocks have a small impact on the bigger picture, but the bigger picture impacts all the stocks. Like if you realize today, almost every single stock had a bit of red at some point in the day, or they stayed in the red, okay? And then when one individual stock goes green, yes, they affect the bigger picture a little bit by making it rise up a little bit, but almost every single stock gets affected by the macro, and the micro barely affects the macro. So you want to definitely focus in on the macro right now, especially if we are going into a correction or a pullback, as we call it, or a crash. What is it that we're going through, right? That's what we want to know. So the first thing I want to announce to everyone is that if things change here, because I'm about to show you guys how things have changed and they might be part of pushing forward a correction even quicker, is that these two things have changed from the last scheduled dates to the new scheduled dates. If this scheduled date gets turned back into this in the near future, I am going to go ahead and start doing this on the Patreon once a week to let everyone know the scheduled dates and when they're coming. So I used to do this periodically or almost every other week here on the channel. I stopped doing it because a lot of people overlook this. That's why I'm asking for your guys' support to help this video and this message get to everyone else. Now, I could be completely wrong on everything that I'm saying, but I do want you guys to at least be aware and be prepared, okay? I'm a true bull when it comes to the market. I look for stocks that go up or have the potential to go up. I am not a bear, but one thing I like to be is aware and prepared. So I ask for your guys' help on this, but I will be adding this to the Patreon in the near future. Like I said, if it ever changes from this, because this is a fixated way of the repo operations, and these parameters are subject to change. If it changes back to this, we will be talking and discussing this in the Patreon above everything else that we already talk about. So I just made the Patreon yesterday. The link is down below in the description if you want to see more information on that. So let's jump in on this, because this is the important part here. So these circles are the dates of the repurchase agreement dates that you could see. And every single time the stocks, right, would go up with the S&P 500. Now, there's individual stocks within the S&P 500 that are creating these moves together, and they're moving anywhere from $1 upwards to $3, all the way down to even 30 cents, anywhere around that area per share. Now, I always told people per share, it may seem like a little bit, but it does add up, right? And like I always say, profits are profits. So I went ahead and circled the most recent days of the last scheduled dates. So here we have it, the 19th, the 26th, the 2nd, and the 9th. This ended on the 11th, and this is what started on the 12th. So let's look at this for a second. So the first one was the 19th. The low here was 37.71, and it went up to 38.03. So this was almost a 30-point jump. So when the market goes up 30 points, which is almost double, right, of today's change, but in the upward direction. Now, look at one of your stocks, how much they went down, and then multiply that by 2, and that might give you some idea of how of an impact these 30 points can make on an individual stock. This is just hypothetically speaking and theoretically speaking within these numbers, and kind of just estimates to give you a rough idea of how this works. It's not to the T or to the exact point, or because this day it jumped 30 points, yours is going to jump up that same amount. I just want to get you guys with the mindset of understanding how this works, or get some type of feel of why these dates are important. So the next one was on the 26th. We could see it here. It was on the 26th, and the 26th, on the 25th, it kind of consolidated here. The low was like 38.40, and it went all the way up to 38.70. It was another 30-point jump. The next one was on the 2nd of February. This is the first already creating that anticipation. The second was right here on this first candlestick, 37.75, and it went all the way up to 38.42. So this one was a little bit bigger of a jump, like 70 points. So you can almost multiply this by 3, right? And then multiply whatever your stocks are down today by 3, and that would have been the gains, theoretically speaking, to give you an idea. And then here we are with the last one, which was on the 9th, right? And it led up to this point. And the 9th was from 39.09, and it went all the way up to 39.18. This was a very stagnant day, right? We could see that there. The 9th was a very stagnant day. It kind of started right here at this point, and it was very weak, right? This was the low here. It just went up like almost 20 points. So that's what we're going to look forward to if the repurchase agreements change, right? Because it's subject to change. The last time we saw that was the 9th. The 11th was going to tell us the next release date, and then it happened on the 12th, and we started the week with some anticipation running up, excitement, and then now we've been pulling back. So the 12th landed on a Friday. We opened the markets on the 16th. The 16th was the only day that the market ran up, as soon as it opened, and continued to pull itself up, and then it started to pull down. So what I'm noticing, right, is that this has changed. So now it's every business day, which we used to have that already. This is nothing new. That was on top of these dates. This was every business day from the beginning of the period to the last at this time, and it was a plus 5 basis points. And that's exactly what they're doing now. And the limit of operations, 500 billion, and 20 billion maximum per proposition. So right now, this is doing what we already had. So until we get this back, I don't think we're going to see the market pull itself back up, because literally everything that it just says there is what we have. But just eliminate all of this, right? And just keep this area right here, because you can see right here what they plan on conducting. It's the same thing they're basically saying here, the 500 billion, and then from 130 to 145 every business day, which is the same thing as how they had it here. They wouldn't say every business day. It would just be from the 15th to the 11th, and you can see it there, 15th to the 11th. The last day of this was the 12th. They were announcing it, and boom, this started. And from that point forward, the market hit a peak, right? 39.50, and it's been going down since. So one thing I want us to pay close attention to is if the market continues to build this behavior. This is the behavior that I'm seeing, right? If it continues this, and we're hitting newer lows, and it continues to hit these peaks, right? Then the market is struggling to hold itself up, because the repurchase agreements of these dates do not exist right now. And a lot of people don't realize how much of an impact the Federal Reserve's decisions has on the overall market. Like, the only reason why the market's been pushing up higher, it's all the forward outlook and hope, but it's these dates. These dates hold up the market from going any lower or from staying stagnant. It keeps on pushing it. It keeps on creating anticipation, excitement, the speculation and the hope of seeing ticker symbols going up. So I didn't really want to make this video, and I didn't want to have to, but I need to make every single investor and viewer aware that we might be in the middle of a crash or correction already getting started. If tomorrow the market stays kind of consolidated, then it's showing some type of power, right, over the market. This small little push of repurchase agreements, right? But if we continue this type of direction and it looks like this in the downward direction, and let's say we kind of land, let's say, based off of how yesterday reacted, all right, let's see here, we land somewhere close to, I'd say right around here, close to 38.70, 38.80, somewhere around there. And then in the afternoon, it comes right back up and it kind of just sits right there, bringing itself back up almost to 39 or even a little bit less, like 38.90. And then it kind of just sits there. You know, there is a correlation on how the stock is reacting. Well, the market, excuse me, and other stocks are reacting because it's all correlating together. And then news and catalysts that give bearish perspectives or bearish outlooks, it's not making it any better. So I'm not sure, you know, where this correction can land to or how it's going to land or what's going to happen. I mean, tomorrow the markets can get crazy, consolidate, and shoot up. Who knows? But we need to watch this carefully. We need to watch this carefully. I found this very interesting that the repurchase agreements, right, has changed. This is how we've been doing it since September of 2019, the last time I recall. This is the first time it changes over to this. And change sometimes could affect the way something is working out, and then it kind of can distort the direction of something. So even it could do that to the market. So we need to see what's going to happen tomorrow. How are we going to end the week? How are we even going to start next week? And Tuesdays, usually, right, were some of the days of the pump. Sometimes it was different days. You know, we want to see if Monday there's some type of anticipation, excitement, pulling the market back up, or are we just going to continue in that direction? Because then we need to look at this as opportunity. It's just no one will know the bottom or the end of it. So right now, if this continues for the next coming days and week, this could be a slight correction. But if this continues for longer than that, even though we try to push right back up and then it continues going down to newer lows, this could be a crash. We just don't know about how much percentage or how much of a correction or crash it's going to be. I mean, one of the main points I would look at is staying above 3,600. That's something I would look at. And that's slightly above the all-time highs that we previously were at until we finally broke through them before the whole entire crash here, right? When we were at 33, then we hit almost 35 right here at this point, and then we finally broke through it, came back down, and continued to push upwards. So I would look here at this point as a point of reference, almost 3,700. I mean, to pay close attention to. If that gets broken through, we are definitely hitting newer lows, and we need to watch what's going on moving forward. As always, guys, I hope you guys found this video helpful and informative. Share it with your friends and community. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're a new viewer or first-time viewer. Click on the bell to not miss a single video that I post. Hit that like button to let me know you watched this video. And don't forget, I just made a Patreon. The link is down below in the description. You can click on it to find out more information on what there is there in our private community. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.